Online at IrieJamRadio.com.
It's Irie Jam Radio Sports.
Sports Caribbean. Sports.
This is Irie Jam Sports, and I am Errol Walters.
Next on the decks.
Irie Jam Radio Sports.
So excited, you made my day.
Sports Extra.
The World Athletics Championships in Tokyo.
And now sports commentaries.
I'm Errol Waters. Tune in with Omilia Sports, Daniel Jarrett, and Kamal Forbes on Irie Jam Sports.
97 point.
Number 1.
Live coverage of the World Athletics Championship.
IrieJamRadio.com.
Turn up.
Tell someone about
The HD3
Irie Jam Radio.
We will be bringing you all the news, all the excitement, all the attractions.
Sports Extra with
Errol Walters.
Irie Jam Radio.
Sports.
Tune in.
Irie Jam Radio Sports.
Coverage.
Celebrates at the line. That's a new lifetime best.
Music they are getting on. This is how we get things started on this here Saturday afternoon. Gotta send a big shout out to my brother, my teacher, my brethren, DJ Roy, the Express Lane, the entire crew. Everyone locked in on that 97.1 FM HD3. All the folks streaming across the world, www.IrieJamRadio.com. And the folks taking us into every nook and cranny, all courtesy of our app. Whether you use an iPhone or an Android, the app is available in the Google Play and the Apple App Store. So you know what time it is. If we're going to be looking at the clock on the wall, it is 3 minutes after the hour of 6 on a beautiful Saturday afternoon across the New York tri-state area. Putting it at 3 minutes after the hour of 5 right here on local soil. We're talking about Montego Bay, Jamaica. And it's time for another episode, Roddy for the road. On a Saturday, we call it Street Beat Saturdays. But before we get to the beats, we're going to have a conversation. Because we're still reviewing the performances at the 2025 Tokyo World Athletics Championships. We got our amazing team of sportscasters led by our own Errol Walters in collaboration with Daniel Jarrett of Omilia Sports. They'll be giving you the insights, the highlights, and the reviews of the day's performances. But before we do that, can I just send one song in tribute? Just one song in tribute from my friend Scusic. Let's do this.
Roddy G! Hold on, my brethren. Music they are getting on.
Ooh, yeah.
Left ways, left rights, left forward. Left nations coming together. This is the time, sure, this is the hour. African unity, fulfill a dream, Kwame Nkrumah. 24 states, one song. The vision is clear, the legalities are Irie Jam.
It's been far too long. It's been far too long now. It's been far too long. Now's the time. Now's the time.
One strong Africa. We need one strong Africa. Yes, one strong Africa. Roddy G, tell them one strong Africa.
All roses put on the table, and Roddy G's willing and able. For the good of the children, he will make it happen. Whoa!
Operation is a moral investment. A 50-year plan sounds interesting. We got the youngest population, and it's time to work.
Yo, Roddy, you are one. Africa, and we play solidarity, and we base every pressure when we face. Happy getting raised, president, are you a lawyer, accountant, or a doctor? Take this as your anthem, you happy work.
One strong Africa, we need one strong Africa, Africa.
Today we say one strong Africa. But in solidarity with our athletes over there in Tokyo, we say one strong Jamaican athletic team. all those on the tracks and those on the infield. We say salute to you. You've made us so proud. And to talk a little bit more about it, as I said at the start of the show, we've got our sportscasters. Today, we have Errol Walters of Irie Jam Sports. We got Daniel Jarrett, Omilia Sports. Gentlemen, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Roddy G.
Welcome, Virgins. Welcome. Well, as we've been doing for the past 5 days, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy the conversation. I'm sure there's much for you to dissect and share with our listeners.
Wonderful. You're absolutely right. Thank you so much. Thank you for that amazing introduction, that amazing song, the unity. That's what it is when we talk about Jamaica, Africa, the Caribbean. You know, we are all one. So absolutely. And it's an absolute pleasure to be back here again with Daniel Jarrett from Omilia Sports. Daniel, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Errol, and thanks to Irie Jam Radio as well for having us here. And it has been a really, really great week. Really, really awesome week. And I am just in awe.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to say welcome, good night, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world. You know, we're in for an incredible hour and more. We're going to break down what has happened over the last 9 days, or 8 days to be exact. We're going to talk about what happened today with the relays, and really, it's just it's a chat. Daniel and I are going to talk about all that's going on in sports. You know the good, the bad, the difference, and we're hoping to be joined by the legend Raymond Stewart. So my producer is on standby. You know, getting hold of Raymond Stewart and his team, and hopefully Raymond will be able to join us. Raymond, as you know, is a former Olympian and world champion. So, you know, we're going to love to hear what he has. But for now, it's just Daniel and I. Daniel, we have the relays today. Tell me, break it down for me, sir.
Well, just before the relays, we had the 800-meter final.
Wow.
Navaski Anderson from Jamaica. A lot of persons would know that name, who especially would pay attention to track and field. Navaski would have dropped his time by 1 whole second during these championships, running 1:42.76 to run another national record, right? He was placed 7th, and just by that fact, you know that 800 was a cracker. The winner was Wanyoni, that's Emmanuel Wanyoni from Kenya. He ran a blistering 1:41.86 seconds for a championship record. And really and truly, Wanyoni is inching closer and closer to that world record by Rhodesha, who was also in attendance, right? And this is how awesome it is, Errol. Second place, ran a season's best, 1:41.90. Third place, Marco Arap, who has been at it as well throughout the season. He ran a season's best as well, 1:41.95. Fourth place, fifth place, ran a season's best as well. And the fourth place actually ran a national record. Sixth place actually ran a personal best. So this tells you about the caliber or the extent to which excellence was demonstrated in that 800 meters. We also had our black sisters running in that 5,000 meters. Beatrice Chibet, she won the 5,000 meters rather. She ran the 5,000 meters just in front of the legendary Faith Kipyegon, who came second in that. So that was a 1-2 for that country. So there was just crazy fireworks there. A lot of drama in the relays. 4x100 meters. Marcel Jacobs colliding with the third leg runner for South Africa, as well as Jamaica messing up on that final leg. Still can't get it right, or is struggling to get it right. The United States of America made it through in the 4x1s, but as it relates to the 4x4s, that's another drama again. So yes, a lot of drama in the relays, and really and truly, it has been quite a day.
Yeah, so let's go back to Navaski. So, what are we seeing now with the 800 meter? is that now a sprint?
Well, I mean, since David Rudisha would have run that 140.91, I think it would definitely be classified as a sprint, right? I mean, what we're seeing being demonstrated by Anavaski Anderson is the fact that Jamaica is now keeping up with the world, right? Navaski basically bringing down his times more and more, and that, in my opinion, would give Navaski a lot of confidence moving into the future because he's young. He is definitely more confident right now. And I also see it as an inspiration for the younger ones and those who have put down the 800 meters can now lift it up back and start to pursue their careers in that specific race, because we see it every year, Errol. We see it every year when students go to the Boys and Girls Championship. They perform well, especially in these distance races. But because the motivation is not there to continue it into the professional realm, they tend to go off to the wayside, trying to sprint, trying the 400 meters, and not make it the way in which they want to make it. And so they go off to do something else in life. But no, we have an inspiration from a Tyrese under Navaski. And so I think that's a positive thing for Jamaica.
Daniel, I have to agree with you because yes, you're right. When we look at Boys and Girls Champs, we see the extent of the depth of our athletic program, but we still are seeing that the focus on the
Earl? Oh, I think we lost Earl for a bit there. But
Yes.
as I was saying, guys, Navaski and Anderson has really provided an inspiration for the younger ones. And really and truly, I am looking forward to some great things from those champs athletes coming up. Errol, you're back?
I am back indeed.
Yes.
I think the floods in Jamaica are affecting us everywhere in the world.
And it's actually raining outside, actually.
Listen. Here's the thing, Daniel. When Jamaica sneezes, the whole world catches a cold.
Wow.
So I apologize to our listeners and our viewers. But Daniel, listen. So but one of the things, and I got to say, with my alma mater, with having Dwayne Johnson as the coach, he is actually a middle and long distance coach. And I saw Jamaica College producing some really strong 800 meter runners, and I see them not just stopping there, but going on to college, and with LSU having a program and other colleges really building on those, they're coming back to represent Jamaica, as opposed to where this emphasis is purely on sprints. Because somehow, and I think the driving force behind that are the shoe companies. They really are just constantly coming there pushing for the sprints. But with what we're seeing with the likes of Jaco Britson and those in the 1500s and how they're talking up the game, it's making that rivalry, showing that distance running or medium to long distance running, there is importance in those. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, man, and even on the women's side as well. We speak about Beatrice Chibet, and we speak about Faith Kipyegon. We speak about Hodgkinson in that 800 meters, who would have not competed throughout the season, and in her first 800 meter race recorded a massive world leading time, and now is dominating in the world championships. And yeah, these persons are really creating a storm. I think a few days ago we had a photo finish in a distance race, Errol. That in and of itself shows you.
Absolutely.
Yes, that in and of itself proves to you that there is some excitement in the distance races, and they need to get a look in I based on what we've seen in the championship so far, and even in the Olympics that have gone, these races are indeed very exciting and really need to get the looking that they deserve.
Now, so listen, we can't forget about Sydney McLaughlin Levrone and what she did with the 400 meters. But during her interview post-race, she was asked, is it true to the rumors that you're planning to step up to the 800 meters? She didn't deny it. She said, let's wait and see. Now, her training partner was Moo, who has recently got married, didn't make the national team. But, do you think that's where the challenge and the support will come from? And we see Sydney McLaughlin Levrone stepping up to the 800 meters? Because now that she's done all she can for the 400 hurdles, she's probably going to be focusing on the 400 flat to try and break the world record and then find some other challenge. Where do you see her going next season and for Beijing in 2027 and LA 2028?
We had spoken to Anderson the other night, and that question was actually posted by Kemal, and Anderson actually said, which I agree with, is that we could possibly see Sydney doubling, right, with the 400 and the 400 meter hurdles, depending on if it is that the World Athletics will be open to arranging the schedule for her to do so. But that's where I see her doing and executing her thing. I would have seen her do the 100 meter hurdles for women at the Grand Slam.
Yep.
Yes, and really and truly, she didn't do as well in the 100 meter hurdles, but that's Sydney McLaughlin, sorry. And if it is that she puts her mind to it, I believe that she will totally be capable of executing and doing well in that 100 meter hurdles. But as it relates to moving forward, I believe that anything that Sydney does, she's confident about it and she will execute in the best way possible. And that best can be a world lead, a world record, a championship record, an Olympic record. Nothing, I will not put nothing past Sydney McLaughlin Levrone.
Right. So Daniel, so back to this morning. So the relays. So we started off with the men's 4x4, and they came in fifth, but an incredible run from our anchor. So, even though they didn't qualify on merit, they qualified on the two fastest losers, and they find themselves in the finals. That gives our guest last night, who was on last night, Rasheen McDonald, to come in. And what other changes do you see in the 4x4? And do you think that Jamaica has a chance, especially how pumped up Rasheen McDonald is, and if he gets the baton in a good position, and if he's allowed to anchor, will that give us a medal hope?
Yeah, man. We have Bramel actually running below 45 seconds. I think he's in the 44 realm. Delano Kennedy is also in the 44 realm, 44 mid, and Bramel 44 mid as well. I think 44.4 and 44.5, sorry, and 44.7 respectively. Rasheen McDonald, I would assume, is in 43 shape. So for sure we do have a solid team going into the 4x400 meters, right? Anybody else we put on that team should be able to execute. We have the likes of Zandrian Barnes, we have the likes of Javon Powell to possibly put out there.
Do you think Watson's season is over, or do you think that because he said he's in the form of his life, would you risk it and put him in? He's the former world champion.
It depends on if it is that he's healthy. I'm not sure what is going on with Watson at the moment, but based on the last interview that he did, it appears that there is something that is wrong, and so I wouldn't risk it. So that's the reason why I don't pick him among the four persons for the 4x4.
Our women now, weren't they just
excellent?
Amazing,
excellent,
scintillating?
Excellent. They actually They actually did the world leading time of 3:22.77. Nikisha Price, of course, being the anchor, Anisha McGregor on third leg, Stacey and Williams, who ran a new personal best of 49, I think 49.7 or 49.5. Was it 5? Somewhere along that line. Dijonay Oakley led us off. So really and truly, they actually won their heat. So that's a positive sign. And it is something that says that Jamaica is ready and rearing to go. The United States of America also looks good with Alexis Holmes, Rosie F. Young, Quanera Hayes, and Britton Wilson. But we have to remember that 47 seconds is a time that is the fastest split on a 4x400 meters for women. And that time is actually being run flat out by, guess who? Yes,
Sydney.
You guys know who that is. Sydney McLaughlin Levroni. So we are probably in the realm of seeing, or we should put our mindsets in the frame of possibly seeing a split by a woman close to a 46 seconds. That would be unbelievable, right? Honestly, it's gonna be a really entertaining 4x400 meters. Because another thing, Errol, is that we do have Netherlands also there, where as we know,
Femke is gonna come in.
Femke Ball is always doing that run back thing that she does. Will that be enough for the the Netherlands to take victory? Let's see.
You know, Daniel, listen, you know, the thing, you know, as patriotic as we are, and that is okay, you know, as a true sports person, a true fan, you know, you want to see the most competitive races that we can see. And I'm sure the spectators and fans are looking forward to seeing Sydney McLaughlin Levrone in that 4x4. So do you think she's the only change? Will they bring in Mohammed? Who do you think is going to lose a spot?
There's Jasmine Jones as well. Sorry. Yes, there's Jasmine Jones as well that is available. So there are a lot of persons that they have at their disposal. Anna Cockrell. And I mean, they have a lot of persons at their disposal, but really and truly, I think that anybody it is that the United States puts in, they are going to have a strong team regardless. So they are going up against a strong field. Jamaica is also very strong, but I expect the United States to be out there and to give us a run for our money. Errol? Yeah, man, the United States will be out there and give us a run for our money, guys. And really and truly, as it relates to the men, though, there was quite a bit of drama for the men. They and the African team that I think there was an impeding thing that happened, and so they have to do a rerun. I'm not sure if the rerun has occurred, but I'm expecting the United States to come out victorious and to be reinstated into the final. So the United States of America does have a strong team. They have Chris, they have the other Chris, they have Patterson and a lot of other persons, but I also do think Jamaica has a strong team as well, as I spoke about earlier on. So a lot of fireworks expected.
So you know, when we look at the men's four, we know Botswana has an incredible team. They've got the world champion, and they've got finalists, medalists on the team as well. Plus, they're going to bring in Tobago. So, you know, clearly, based on stats, they're going to be the favorites. The Americans are going to show up. So we know that. We know that Germany and the other teams, you know, or even Japan has a very strong team. Now, when we look at the women, we know Jamaica performed very, very well. I was hoping that at the end of the day would end up with a gold or two. Is that still? Is there any chance of us getting a gold medal tomorrow?
I look at things different in an Errol. I kind of see it as the fact that the athlete is in the final. It
anything can
creates a
happen.
clear opportunity for them to get gold. So the gold medal is not put down for an America. The gold medal is not put down for anybody out there per se, because especially as it relates to something that is as technical as a relay. We've seen it. We've seen that Jamaica has messed up. We've seen the USA mess up. We've seen South Africa mess up. So as it relates to the relay, the technical aspect of it all has to be spot on for countries to really make it over that tape, right? We speak about countries like Canada, for example, Aaron Brown, Brendan Rodney, Andre DeGrasse. These persons have been running together for quite some time, and one would assume that this specific relay team does have the chemistry, and we have seen this work to their advantage year after year, them not missing out on a podium. Will this year be that moment when they will put it together and get a gold medal? Who knows? The United States of America is looking forward to making a triple for Melissa Jefferson Wooden, who I assume will be taking the place of the first leg. So it would be Melissa Jefferson Wooden. Hold on, let me look at
To
the
her
team.
teammate,
To
White.
her teammate, TT Terry. Is that the
To
case?
White and then Terry, then to Shakari? Or do you think it's to Terry, then White?
Yes, so it's, yeah, man. So it's Mel Jeff to TT Terry, Shakari on the anchor leg, and Kayla White on that third leg.
Yeah, and they're all from the same camp in Claremont,
Yes.
so they're all four are teammates, so they know each other very, very well. There's that strong camaraderie. So
but one can also say the same for the Jamaica team, where we're talking about a full MVP team. We're talking about a Shelly and Fraser Price. We're talking about a Sherika Jackson. We're talking about a Tia and Tina Clayton Twin Turbo. They're also from the Maximum Velocity and Power track and field team. And I'm really expecting some exceptional performance from them too, right? Especially due to the fact that in that middle, I've been watching Tia and Tina since they were juniors. I've literally, commentated on their races, and I've seen where their maturity and they have grown into just some beasts, right? That second leg and that third leg with Tia and Tina respectively, it was just crazy. And I'm looking forward to seeing this trend continue when it is that we bring in Shelley and Fraser Price and Sherika Jackson.
Okay, so I'm gonna now try to pin you down here now. So name the squad, the start, the second, third, and anchor leg for the Jamaica team. So you know the American. How are you going to match up against the Americans?
No, man, I think that's going to be something. I honestly don't know who they're going to put on the start. Last night, Kemal said that he heard it was Sherika Jackson. I would put Sherika Jackson on the curve. Shelly and Fraser Price on that first leg. The second leg, any one of them can go. Tina Clayton would go on that first leg maybe. But ideally, we would want Tina on the second leg. So Shelly and Fraser Price on the start leg. Tina Clayton on the second leg. Tia Clayton on the third leg. And on that anchor leg would be Sherika Jacko Jackson. That's my team.
I would like to, sentimentally, I would like to agree with you, but I just don't know if Sherika has the sort of fire You know, I saw her in the 200, and she's coming alive, but I don't know if it's too early to be putting her on that anklet.
Well, when you look at it, you know, she was fourth in that 100 meters. So, let's look at it from the start, right? Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, a very good starter, and I use the term very good instead of excellent because, as we know, Shelly-Ann is closing down the curtains, and she doesn't have that explosion as we would usually see or usually expect from Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce. But of course, we can guarantee that we're going to get a good start from that relay from Shericka Jackson to Tina Clayton. Tina Clayton is the silver medalist in the 100. So we are sure that once the exchange is clean, we're going to get a good leg from Tina Clayton on that backstretch. Tia Clayton is a very good 200-meter runner, a very good curve runner, and so having her on that curve would be of great benefit. I've been watching Tia Clayton since high school, and she has been running a lot of curves, or she was, running a lot of curves during that time, and so she's no foreigner to running a curve. Shericka Jackson would only be tasked with the ability of work of holding off a Sha'Carri Richardson, which I think Shericka is really close to in terms of speed, right? So I'm expecting her to deliver exceptionally when it comes on to a head-to-head with a Sha'Carri. I expect Shericka Jackson to be coming out victorious.
Daniel, I've listened to you over the last 8 days, and you know what you're talking about. So I'm inclined to go with that, and really, as you say, get the baton around, because if we get the baton around, then
that's the most important thing. That's the most important thing. Once it is that Jamaica gets that button around safely to that final leg, then I don't see why Jamaica would not get gold.
Yeah,
gold medal. I'm calling a gold medal for Jamaica in that 4x1.
I love that. I couldn't ask for a better send off for Shelly-Ann Fraser if Jamaica got that gold. I think Tokyo would erupt, because she has been an incredible ambassador, not only to Jamaica, but to the world of athletics. And, I'm sure, world athletics, they don't have favorites, but if they had to choose a favorite, they'd want Shelly-Ann Fraser to
come on,
go
10-time world medalist, multiple time Olympian, multiple Diamond League titles, sub 11 seconds, running 10.6s, running some fast times, and separate and apart from that, being in the game from 2007 and still being in the game in 2025, that's like legendary in and of itself. So a big shout out to Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, living legend.
Yeah, absolutely. So Daniel, we're going to go to a music break now, because when we come back, we're going to have a special guest. So Roddy G, all over to you, my friend.
I'm just going to drop one song, and it goes like this.
For the bag say one lot of mad. The mystery of the mystery and the man is just the man. So don't you try to diss me, Mr. Fool, because you're wrong. You want to diss the warlord in front of young. Tell the bag say one lot of mad. Oh, this them no bees. They don't want to live in my side. But when the pattern and the mix from jeans, one man from the jit up the little wheels squeeze, push them out like some chicories, and look it from blue steel, make them understand, please. Possible cheese, husband, father, to mention I will freeze. Start fire, punish and charge. Sit up, not up, and come on, a man's car. Take the heart again. After the earthquake shake, when it's in the real from the fake vibrate, just wait till after the hurricane blow. People are gonna know of original flow.
It is Street Beat Saturdays. So we still have to represent for the old school. You know how we do. But we're also representing for the sports fans and those who are interested in the games happening in Japan, Tokyo. It's the World Athletics Championships, and we have our own Errol Walters along with Daniel Jarrett of Omilia Sports. They are dissecting what's happening in and off the field. Or should I say on and off the field? So, gentlemen, you ready again?
We are indeed, sir. Thank you. So, Daniel,
yes.
Is it safe to say that we've had a good championship? And because listen, folks were upset after Paris. There were calls for resignation from the J3As. There were calls for changes to the structure, the involvement of government, and just a lot of chatter. Some folks angry, some folks getting personal. But you know what? For those who don't understand the sports, don't understand that athletics is seasonal. That 1 minute you're on top, the next minute you've lost form, and that's part and parcel of the sport. So, but here we are now. What are we? 8 medals, and the possibility of 3 tomorrow. How would you sum up these championships?
Very successful one, actually. I think that this was a very successful championship for Jamaica. I listened to an interview by the great Steve Francis, and he said that people are wagonists. I think you had played it yesterday, right?
That's correct.
He said that people are wagonists, and the fact is that we do have the same crop of athletes. Sometimes we do well, sometimes we don't. That's just the thing about sports. If I should speak about football, I think that throughout the year, a lot of persons cussed out Manchester United and say, oh, Manchester United is not a good team. And today Manchester United defeated Chelsea. Everybody is happy. Or some time ago, recent times, Man U defeated Chelsea and everyone is happy, right? Arsenal is another team that get a lot of cussing all the time, right? And as soon as it is that Arsenal wins a trophy, that there goes everybody again on Arsenal's side. Chelsea is also a team that gets a lot of cussing too. Chelsea won the Club World Cup, right? So it's sports. It is what it is when it comes on to sports. We do well sometimes and we do bad. 8 medals in the bag, not a bad thing to not a bad way to end off the championships. But as I said, I do expect more medals. I expect at least 3 more medals from Jamaica, and I'm looking forward to that in the relays.
Now, okay, so we win 3 more medals. We don't. Okay, we end up with 11 medals. Fantastic. We go home. What do we do now? Is it business as usual, or because we still have some areas that so in the Olympics, field events carried us home. So now we're back and we're seeing a lot of the medals coming back from the track. In terms of the jumps, in terms of the throws, we were expecting some medals. And I guess because we relied on them in the Olympics, and it being a very long season, that the form just didn't follow through. We saw Scott in the triple jump, and he was so close. So I listen, is it business as usual, or what do you do? We because we don't have a really competitive year next year other than the Commonwealth Games. What are the athletes going to do? Diamond League, but what's going to motivate them to get up and because the next big meet is the World Championship in Beijing, but we do have the Ultimate Championship next year, but that's by invitation.
I think that this championship in and of itself is a motivation for these person.
Hello, I think we are missing Daniel there for a second. But yeah, it's been one of those days yesterday. I think with the rains and the floods in Jamaica, it's been affecting signals all over the world. So please bear with us as we try to sort this out. How's your Saturday going? It's just network problems through and through. But how's your Saturday going? Have you been enjoying the World Championships? Would you consider the championships a success? And would you agree that Jamaica is back and that we can start celebrating and calling ourselves the Spring Factory again? Yes, Daniel. So yeah, let us know if you wanna drop us a line. Jump onto the Omilia Sports social media page. Send us a comment. Daniel will be reading your comments, and just get involved in the discussion and just share your thoughts. We it's been exciting for us, seeing a lot of the youngsters coming through. Shelley handing the baton. It's going to be ceremonial tomorrow because the handing of the baton from Shelley to the Clintons. It's going to be special.
You guys hearing me?
I'm hearing you very well, Daniel. Very well. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sorry about that, guys.
Not at all. Not at all. Listen, I think it's the Jamaica rains that have messed up the cables worldwide.
Yes. What was the question again?
So Daniel, what we're saying, is it business as usual with next year not being a competitive year? How do you motivate these athletes to come back for Beijing 2027 and LA 2028?
I think that this championship in and of itself is a motivation for these persons. When you think about the youngsters, Ralford Mullings, when you think about Jordan Scott, when you think about the high jumper, Raymond, when you think about who else? Navasky Anderson, Rashawn Clark. These
Carr,
youngsters, they have been taking lessons from these championships, and we've heard it in interviews. I think Jordan Scott said that, hey, this year taught him that he deserves to be among the greatest in the world. Navasky Anderson said in an interview that he thinks that he is just as good as the guys that he is running with, right? Roshan Clark made it to the semifinals. We have the likes of Malik James King, who made it to those semifinals as well, just missing out on the final by a whisker, right? And so I believe that all of these performances are motivation that, hey, I am capable. I deserve to be here. I can do all that which everybody else in the world is doing. And I just believe that this is going to be replicated in future performances when it comes on to these events in the Commonwealth, in the Diamond League that are coming up, and other competitive events for Jamaica, especially.
Yeah, because the one of the things that we talked about is the youngsters coming in, and you've mentioned all of these youngsters. Christopher Taylor, said that, he has done what he came to do, run his personal best, but make the team. I don't think, Daniel, you can explain this to our listeners and our viewers. When an athlete, for whatever reason, takes time out, how hard is it for them to come back? Christopher Taylor was off for nearly 2 years, and to come back, and in the same season as coming back, he made the World Championship team. And was a formidable force because he got to the semi-finals. Now, explain to our listeners and our viewers what it takes for a young man like to be 2 years not being able to compete. Also, that there are rules around World Athletics in terms of who are allowed to coach you, who are allowed to be involved with you. So even though personally you can go to the gym and work out and that kind of stuff, you can't be seen to be working with a club or anything. So the magnitude of what he's achieved to come back at this level, that just bodes well for the future. What say you?
I just want to ask the producer if he can play that interview that I did with Chris Taylor at the recent Jamaica Championship. The championship. Yeah.
Producer,
because
please play
the interview with Chris Taylor.
Yeah. I think that's coming up.
But in that interview, he spoke about the attitude that he has, right? He spoke about how determined that he is. Yeah.
All right. So we're there with Kobe. Kobe, what going, bro? All is well?
All is well, all is well.
Going into the 400, what was the mindset like?
The 400?
Sorry. Bro, I took me used to it. Going into the 200, what was the mindset like today?
Well, the mindset today was just to come out here and execute a proper race, I wanted to do the qualifying standard, but my body is super fatigued. I had a few hiccups coming off the curve. So, I just had composure, come in the straight, straighten up, and head down the straight, not looking back, and that's what I did.
Chris, I'm one of those people who are very extremely confident in your abilities, especially due to the type of mindset that you have. Tell us a little bit about what contributes to that crazy mindset that you have since Champs days.
I would say the atmosphere I grew up in, Going to Calabar, you have to be mentally, physically tough, right? And while I was at Calabar, I've been one of the main leaders. Since I got there in 7th grade, I've been one of the top leaders. So, my mentality there is so tough. And that's why most of the boys that come through my year group, they're so mentally tough and physically tough. So that is what I would say is the lion spirit in me, basically, you know? Because I'm the cub, I'm a lion cub. Yeah. So that's what it's from.
Yeah, man. So basically, Chris Taylor really summed it up for us. I mean, coming from a band, right? And not only that, not being able to be attached to a club at the time and all that which you spoke of, Errol.
Yeah.
It must have taken a toll on him mentally. I can recall at one point as well, maybe he was saying it indirectly that, hey, he feels as if he's going to quit or announce his retirement or something of that sort. I remember a lot of controversy around that. And everybody was like, no, Jano, no, Chris Taylor, you can't do that, Everyone knows Chris Taylor as a person who always showed up, especially as a junior, who was doing excellent as a junior. He had the type of career that a lot of persons wish they had as a junior. Chris Taylor had that type of career. And matriculating to the professional realm, many will forget that Chris Taylor was always that person who was doing his thing in the 400 meters in the professional circles, right? Until that ban came, right? And to have that big setback and come back. I was there the day when he ran his first race back. I believe it was at
Velocity.
Racers Grand Prix.
Was it Racers or was it not the Velocity Fest? Oh, Racers.
Yes.
It was absolutely the Racers Grand Prix. Yes.
I think he had run before that, but Racers Grand Prix was that official
main race,
race back, right? And the reception that he got from the Jamaicans in the stadium that day, and whoever it is that was there as well, because I know that there were international persons there. That reception that he got was just an exceptional one. And I think it was a 200 meter that he actually ran. And it was exceptionally executed, right? And, just his story, the fact that he did not run the qualifying standard at trials but then qualified on time and world ranking, going to the world championships, being in a heat of death, right? A heat that not even me expected Christopher Taylor to make it out of that heat, and actually making it out of that heat. A big shout out as well to Noah Lyles. I heard that Noah Lyles was giving words of encouragement, calming down Chris during Noah Lyles and Andre DeGrasse were
Yeah.
in the back room actually guiding Chris Taylor and saying, hey, all you need to do is go out there and execute. And even after the race, you saw where Noah Lyles gave him a pat on the back after he qualified for the semifinals. And in my view, that is what you call heart. And that is something that you use to refer to persons like Chris Taylor and persons like Rashid McDonald. And he made reference to the fact that there are lions at it at Calabar rather, right? And when we look at the persons who are from Calabar, we talk about a Warren Weir, a person with heart, right? We saw Dakers go out there with a hamstring injury, right? And he was throwing and throwing and throwing, right? Frederick Dakers, who we had on a couple days ago. We saw Chris Taylor go out there and do his thing as well. We saw the likes of the Calabar standout, Orlando Bennett, go out there and do his thing too, and came out victorious with a silverware. So really and truly, I think that Champs has contributed. The school that these students have attended has contributed, and it is really and truly doing well for each and every one of these athletes.
Yeah, Daniel, I gotta agree with you again that the foundation of boys and girls championships.
Yeah, the foundation itself has been extremely great. We actually heard Warren Weir speak about that actually. Warren Weir spoke about how much that foundation really helps us helps the athletes, to prepare for competition, especially when it comes on to the world championships, when it comes on to major championships like the Olympics, right? And we would have seen where himself, Warren Weir, would have done well during this also. So, yeah, man, quite a number of achievements from these high school students at these major championships. Yes, Errol.
Yes, sir. Daniel, listen, we cannot underestimate the importance of boys and girls.
We continuously lose Errol. And yeah, man, he's going into a very good he's going into a very good part of the discussion where we're talking about the boys and girls championships, right? And it is very important when it comes on to the boys and girls championships because these athletes, that's where they first get the chance to show themselves in front of a massive crowd, and to actually hold that composure. I think this year, quite a lot of persons got the opportunity to go to the boys and girls championships. Anderson Emerald, who we had on a few nights ago, actually went to the boys and girls championships and got a feel. They actually did a whole documentary on boys and girls championship, Errol, and really, the foreigners especially, they enjoyed it. Justin Gatlin, after I interviewed him the last time, he said that he's dying to see what boys and girls championships look like. So boys and girls championships is the championships before the championships, if you get what I'm saying.
No, absolutely, and we have to give ISA and the sponsors Grace Kennedy, because Grace Kennedy has pumped a lot of money into boys and girls champs, and we're developing these athletes, and it is the foundation. So kudos to the people that are behind that, and now we're seeing these young crop of athletes, because now when you see the NCAA colleges, universities coming scout, our athletes are in massive demand. So even though the American systems produce great athletes, they're still coming to Jamaica. I know for a fact Arkansas, really come, after Jamaican athletes in a very, very, very strong, aggressive way. So I as a sporting person, I'm confident that our sports is in good hands. Daniel, where do you see us in terms of oblique going on? Do you think Oblique and Kishane can replicate what Usain and Johan did, and what we see the Claytons replicate what Elaine and Shelley has done?
All right, so let me just give you guys a little synopsis of Usain Bolt, because a lot of persons tend to take lightly what this man has done, right? Current world record holder, 8-time Olympic champion, 11-time world champion, 3-time Diamond League winner, right? And he did these things back to back, right? It's really, really hard to actually do something like that. I honestly think that it will take generations or more than one person
Daniel,
to achieve. Yes.
I'm going to pause you for a second. Now, we're going to remind our viewers and our listeners, we're switching off from Irie Jam. We're going all guns blazing to Omilia Sports, because we're going to give Omilia Sports the feast, because we've got Adrian Carr waiting to join us. Young Adrian Carr is going to join us. So listen, all our viewers that are on the Irie Jam platform, please switch over to the Omilia Sports social media platform. There you can send your questions, rant, ask the question to Daniel. Daniel is looking at the questions, and he will be answering your questions. So we're just going to take a break right now. In a couple seconds or so, we'll be back, and we'll be joined by the young Adrian Carr. So Daniel,
online at IrieJamRadio.com.
It's Irie Jam Radio Sports.
Sports Caribbean. Sports.
This is Irie Jam Sports, and I am Errol Walters.
Next on the decks.
Irie Jam Radio Sports.
So excited. You made my day.
Sports Extra.
The World Athletics Championships in Tokyo.
And now sports commentaries.
I'm Errol Waters. Tune in with Omilia Sports, Daniel Jarrett, and Kamal Forbes on Irie Jam Sports.
97 point.
Number 1.
Live coverage of the World Athletics Championship.
IrieJamRadio.com.
Turn up.
Tell someone about
The HD3 Irie Jam Radio.
We will be bringing you all the news, all the excitement, all the attractions.
Sports Extra with
Errol Walters.
Irie Jam Radio.
Sports.
Tune in.
Irie Jam Radio Sports.
Coverage.
Celebrates at the line. That's a new lifetime best.
welcome back. And of course, we would like to welcome Adrian Carr. Adrian, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Daniel, we have young Adrian Carr with us. So, Adrian,
Hey, Adrian, how are you doing?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great as well, my brother. Congratulations on your performances.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah,
Adrian, I heard you did an interview and you clearly came in with a plan. So, for our viewers and our listeners that have not seen your interview, just remind the viewers, what was your plan coming into the World Championship?
Well, initially my plan was just to get the sub-20 and make it to the finals, but I guess it took more than that. So yeah.
But listen, you got to be pleased with your performance and be proud of how you execute it, because you and I spoke earlier in the season. I actually met up with you in Jamaica, and you made some changes, but those changes seem to have worked and have paid off. So you must be pleased, disappointed, because of course every athlete wants to get a medal. That's the reason why you're there. But you gotta leaving Tokyo with a heart saying, you know what, I achieved my personal best, and and it's boding for the future. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this season I've gained a lot. I've learned a lot. Outside of track and field, in general, I learned a lot. So I believe I'm very grateful for what have happened, even though I didn't make it to the finals. I'm really and truly happy, to be honest.
Yeah. Adrian, really and truly, boy, what you're running is no boy time, brother. You see me? And one of the things is that you have to, at some point, you have to really be you call it empathetic, with yourself. I mean, the feeling of going so close to going to the final and just not making it might be very devastating. But when you move forward and you look back in hindsight, you're going to say to yourself, but wait, I was in the semi-final at the World Championship. And so that is something that you should be proud of. That is something that you should celebrate. And speaking about celebrate, how is it that you actually celebrate it?
Well, I'm not a person that goes out or anything, so I just call my family members. They congratulate me, vibe on the phone. Nothing too special, nothing too crazy. That's the type of person I am, so I just celebrate that type of way.
How is that? How is your relationship with family like? Describe to us your relationship with your family.
Um, I have a they, as a, I have a great support system. They really and truly try to help me in every way they can, and I'm an understanding person. So if you can't really help me, then I understand. So that doesn't really count. I don't really count that out as not being family. But my family members, I love them. Them know themselves. Them help me. Um, I could have asked for better family members. They shaped me into who I am today. So I'm really and truly grateful for the team I have had in the past and coming up now.
So, Adrian, listen, you and I spoke. You were in Jamaica. You went abroad. You came back. You're now with Michael Frater. That has made a huge difference for you. And more importantly, Michael Frater has been there, done that. So what apart from the training, what were the words? Because when someone has been there and done that, what did he say to you before the competition?
Well, he just says go out there, do the thing, because in training, we train. So we know where we're at. So it's not a case where he has to say, oh, do this, do that, do that, do that, do that. Just finish the race, stay tall, run off the turn, you'll be fine.
Yeah, listen, Adrian, the things that people know, Jamaican fans are not fully aware of this, but the two hardest teams to make when it comes to the sprints is the United States and Jamaica. Those are the two. So just making the team is a celebration in itself. You know that.
Yes.
That if you relax, somebody's got your space. You know what I'm saying? So and I keep pointing out to people, listen, there are 8 billion people on this planet, So to be at the World Championship, that in itself is just outstanding. So, Adrian, I understand the team's probably leaving on Monday, heading back. Are you going to take a break? Holiday, something? What are your plans when you get back home?
Well, my break started after the semifinals, so yeah, I'm going to take a break about a month or so, but yeah, about a month. So I'll be back in training very early. So I'm really and truly looking forward to next season. So I'm not really complaining because I know with a little bit of work, I reached this far. So I know next season with all the training I have to do, I'll make it even further. So yeah, I'm looking forward to going back into training.
So Adrian, listen, listen, you got to be pumped up. You got to be pumped. Listen, you're a young man. The world is your oyster. When you look at your teammates, Lavelle, Christopher Taylor, you guys are going to be pushing. Lavelle got the bronze medal. And these guys will be competing with day in day out. The future bodes well. So I know you're going to be excited, and therefore how do you think you're going to turn the tables on these guys? What so because I know you've only been with Freighter for a very short time, and so therefore that you're now having the opportunity to have a full season. So what is going to be different that Adrian is now going to emerge, and we're going to see Adrian battling with Christopher Taylor and Lavelle?
Well, first off, my body, I would be doing actual background work. At first, I wasn't really getting the actual background work I was supposed to be getting. So that would be one, and the waist training would be one, speed endurance. A lot of things I missed out. So definitely, all those changes would make a big difference in my appearance on the big stage. Big stages to come.
Yeah, go on, Daniel, please.
Yeah, Adrian, as it relates to your experiences, right? What is one of the big moments that you can recall as a youth watching track and field? Maybe it's a performance, or describe those emotions and describe the specific race itself.
As in what motivated me, or just
No,
races
man,
that.
a big race that you can recall, like something that really and truly stands out to you. Not by you, but by somebody who you would look up to in track and field.
Oh, definitely. I remember the time I just came back from college, and they had the Racers Grand Prix. This was the race between Noah and Civil, and the rush that I got was a different type of feel. I've never felt it. So I wanted that feeling for myself. So yeah. And
Okay,
I
so
think a couple more races after that as well. Even the one with Brian Level. Because they don't know I'm a 200-meter person. I
yeah,
love the 200 meters. So seeing him go 19.7 was wow. Like that was a crazy thing for me. So seeing all
yes.
that was yeah.
So prior to your involvement in track and field, who are the persons that you would have seen, or which race would you have seen that really inspired you to say, "Oh, say I'm going to try this thing"?
I've been running basically all my life.
Wow.
From primary school coming up. I've been running. So I didn't really know anyone or look up to anyone at that time. I only started to probably get used to the sport like in when I moved from primary to prep. And yeah, I didn't really even know my competition all that well. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. That sounds fair.
So
That
Adrian,
sounds fair.
listen, you know, you know, Paris last year, it wasn't as our expectation, because Jamaicans have high expectations from our athletes. This year, it's a success, a phenomenal success, and the burden is now being placed on the younger athletes like yourself coming through. How do you cope with this type of expectation? How's the camp coping? I know your grandfather very, very well, so I spoke to your grandfather, and I know you have a very close family. But I also your coach is a swimmer. But when you're alone, when do you think? Because as you said, Brian Lavelle's run that, so there's a lot of expectation on it. How do you cope with that?
Every, to each his own. Everybody of them own time. So Me looking at it from that standpoint, I don't really do it because I'm not trying to put that type of pressure on me. All I want to do is just train and try to get the results I know I can get. So
Absolutely, yeah. Adrian, listen, you are a phenomenal athlete. I'm only expecting great things from you in the future. You and I will always be talking. And I'm so proud of what you've done because I remember speaking to you earlier on, and you just making the team was just exceptional. But I know that this is what you were born to do. This is what you love to do. So my brother, all we can do is wish you for the very best. We appreciate you coming onto this platform because it's so important that the fans and the viewers get to know you because you are the future of Jamaica track and field. So we just want to thank you so much. Daniel, what have you got to say to Adrian?
Adrian, just continue to progress. I've been looking at your times and how they have been trending down, and it's almost like you've run a PB at the right time in the season, right? At the championship in a semi-final, right? So it's just up from there, bro. And I look forward to hearing from you when it is that competition starts again in Jamaica and outside of Jamaica next year.
Okay, definitely. I look forward to
You'll see
interact with
this. You'll
everyone.
see
So
this face a lot.
yeah.
Adrian,
I kind of like interacting with people to hear what they have to say. So I'm all ears. I'm all for it. Yeah.
Adrian,
Yeah, man, no problem.
if your break is still on when I'm in Jamaica, because I'll be in Jamaica at the back end of September, early October, we'll definitely have lunch because I owe you a nice lunch because I am so proud of what you've done and what you're gonna do for the future. So listen, as you know, I told you when I saw you a couple of days before the trial, I'm one of your biggest fans. So yeah, so. Just continue doing what you're doing, because the future's bright. So just well done and just listen. I know you don't party and that kind of stuff, but enjoy Tokyo. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy.
Yes.
You've got a day and a half left. Just enjoy it. Just soak up the atmosphere because there's going to be a time where you're smashing world records and all that kind of stuff. So you'll be spending all your time in cars, on radio and TV. So when you have these moments where you can sort of go out and the mobs don't mob you, because there's going to be a time where you're going to be such a celebrity that you can't go out in the public domain. Just like the same boat. So mate, just enjoy it. Okay, enjoy it, and thank you so much for joining us today. We so really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Blessings. Yes.
Blessings, Adrian.
Daniel. So
yes.
Brethren, listen. What yeah, listen, I know you're a busy man, but listen, a little birdie is telling me that you should be heading to New York soon for the Athlos game, or am I getting that right?
Yeah, man, that's in the plans. To go to New York to watch Athlos, right? A lot of persons are telling me that, Mel Jeff is going to run 21.5 at Athlos. She's going to run 10.5 at Athlos. Like they are telling me that a lot of things are about to unfold at that track meet, and it's a very entertaining one. So I would like to experience that form of entertainment, and I'm looking forward to it.
So the team. Malik told me that I think the team leaves on Monday. So it's probably a 3-day journey. So they probably get back to Jamaica probably about Wednesday. So listen, I know you're keen to talk to a lot of these athletes. Some are going to be full of euphoria. Some a bit disappointed. But I know they're going to want to talk to you. So again, you're going to be improving on that archive. So what are your plans now? You've got this archive. Where's Omilia Sports going with all of this now?
we hope to be one of those fireworks, or what should I say, strongholds in media, right? As it relates to interacting with athletes, we are not only a track and field platform, we also cover football. And in the future, we hope to extend to American football, we hope to extend to baseball, and rival companies like ESPN and all of those places, right? So that's where I see Omilia Sports going. And that's the type of attitude that I have towards, making Omilia into what my dreams portrayed to be. So hopefully that can be achieved. I mean, it's going to take some time. Not hopefully it can be achieved. It will be achieved because at the end of the day, most of what we invest it really benefits the persons that comes after us, right? So my children may just very well take on this platform and build it, and then their children also build it. But my determination is to start the work and to start it off in a very excellent and great way so that it can be continued and continued effectively.
Daniel, listen. When I thought about this, this platform, I gotta say that I was stalking you. If stalking is the right word, because I saw you in Kingston at Grand Slam. I was following Omilia Sports before that. Then I saw you, in person at Grand Slam, and then I had the opportunity of seeing you in Miami. And I said to my wife, Donna, listen, I know that guy. I got to talk to that guy. And I ran you down. And you stopped. And we had a pleasant conversation. And we exchanged numbers. And what stood out most for me was when I came to Jamaica. And I reached out to you. And you responded. And more importantly, we had lunch. And you were a minute or two before the appointed time. And I thought, wow, this is the first Jamaican I've ever agreed to meet up with. And he's actually not only on time, but there a couple of minutes before. And it demonstrated your professionalism. But more importantly, that, you have a plan and a vision of where you want to take Omilia Sports. The collaboration with Irie Jam has been nothing but spectacular. And, your Rolodex, your black book is just, it's unbelievable. When we talk and you're saying, Errol, I'm talking to this athlete, I'm talking to that person, I'm talking to that agent. I'm like, wow, this guy is just so impressive. And listen, I am so in awe and in admiration of the younger generation, people like yourself, because a lot of people don't know that apart from Omilia Sports, you have a day job, but you're managing to juggle that. You're managing to juggle that, and that shows the depth of who you are. And it's a message to young people that, listen, just don't sit on your laurels and just expect it to come to you. You have to go out there and find it. You said you want to build something, and it's a legacy, but it's more a creation of generation wealth, so that your children can come through and take that baton, as we talk about athletes, and carry it forward. And also when you're talking about other sports, because as you know, the Reggae Boys are on the verge of qualifying for the World Cup. So I know that you'll be covering that, and you'll be coming to United States, because that's where the games will be hosted. So I just listen, I tell you now that when you float Omilia Sports on the Jamaica Stock Exchange, I'll be one of the first individuals buying shares in that company, because I believe in what you do, and that I archive what you do. I hope that our producer is able to play that Usain Bolt interview, because only you could get a Usain Bolt interview. Please.
You're saying you're here today, you've been in the game. What is something that you would want to say to the athletes as an advice today going into the final of the 100 meters?
Just do your best. Just remember your training, how to execute, and go there and do the best, because that's all they can do. And remember, your best is always good enough.
You've been retired. At any point, have you missed it?
Yeah, of course. Especially when you watch the championships. definitely miss it over the years, in the running and seeing and just the excitement you used to it. So definitely I do miss it.
Okay, then no problem. Thank you so much, Hussein. Anderson, he's with
one second
from final leg.
Yeah.
Daniel, that was priceless. Listen, listen, your archive is full. You're getting.
I've won with Shelly too.
Shelly, absolutely, yeah. And Daniel, listen, that's the thing. I see these guys and I'm starstruck, and I'm sure you are too. But you're brave enough to go up to them and say, "Listen, can I have a word?" And because again, your reputation precedes you, because people see the interviews and they say, "Okay, this guy is not coming at me in any hostile way. He's not trying to entrap me. He's not trying to gain clicks and likes off me. He really is just giving the fans an insight into these guys and a bit about their lives." So, listen, what you're doing is absolutely incredible, sir. And, I cannot stress enough how this collaboration with Irie Jam Sports and Lawal Sports was absolutely incredible. We brought on, listen, when you think, when we started out, and we had Noel on, and then, Janet Silvera, having Orlando Bennett, Ian Forbes, Chad Wright, Frederick Dakers, Darian Skerritt, Anderson, Rashid, now Adrian Clark, and there were so many more that wanted to come on, but because of the timing, because Japan.
Because Janelle Smith actually really wanted to come on. That's Janelle who anchored the 4x100 meter heats. She's stormed, right? She wanted to come on, but it was a little bit too late. Another person who who wanted to come on was Brian Lavelle. Brian Lavelle, who won the bronze medal in the 200 meters for men. He wanted to come on, but it was really, really too early.
Daniel, listen, I would love when I come to Jamaica for us to meet up, because I think that, we've got to do a part 2. We really have to, the championship, post-championship, we got to get these guys that we didn't get to come on and ask them about the experience, and also just have a chat with them, because sometimes you look at the ESPNs and all these big broadcasters with this big budget, they can't get these athletes, and Daniel just goes into his phone and says, "Mate, how about coming onto my platform?" And they say, "Yeah." And then our mysterious producer, Electra, who we've never met, never seen, is able to pull it together and get them on. Nigel works his magic, and Louis in the background giving us tips. But, it's been absolutely wonderful. Raymond Stewart wanted to join us, but he wasn't able to because he's at the moment doing some stuff with his son. He has a son who's running 10:05. I think he's about 17 years of age. So that is a story that we're going to be wanting to hear. And I'm sure, Daniel, you'll be jet setting over the world interviewing these people, because that's what the fans, the viewers want to hear. So listen, I don't know. I'm sure you're probably looking at acquiring a private jet at some point.
Of course, I don't put that outside of my purview. But yeah, man, of course, why not? I want the greatest of the greatest and the best of the best.
No, Daniel, it's been, listen, we can't forget Kamal. Kamal, because of the rains, wasn't able to join us today, but we call him our encyclopedia. The young people today know it as Google, but Kamal, the statistician, was mind-blowing. This guy was just pulling stats, like pulling a rabbit out of a hat. It was just so impressive. And, folks were just calling me and just saying, "Errol, where do you get these guys from? These guys know everything about track and field." For me, it's wonderful, but it's also a bit sad, because the world does not know. So a lot of times we bring these pundits from around the world to come and commentate on our sports when we have homegrown talent, and that's what we need to. We now need to start showcasing our homegrown talent and the world seeing that, you know, we have Daniel Jarrett, we have Kamal Ford, and we have a host of other young analysts, you know, that know their stuff and you know, and are able to get the because you know it's not easy getting athletes to talk, you know.
Yeah.
Not easy. And you manage to do that all the time. And they come on the show and they're so comfortable. You heard Adrian there, you know, he was so happy to come on board. So, you know, Daniel, from the bottom of my heart, all I want to say is thank you. Thank you. It's been the most amazing 8 days. I didn't think I could love track and field more. And now I am so in love with track and field because now I can see how much I can enjoy this and how much that when I took on this gig with Irie Jam Sports, it was a thought, a dream, but you know, working with you guys, I've seen that wow, you know, we can really start producing some incredible projects that our fans and viewers would love. So Daniel, thank you, sir. Please enjoy your Sunday. The relays, I'm hoping we get 3 medals, but more importantly, I'm hoping that we get that gold medal in the 4x1. As always, sir, I'm going to give you the last word.
Yeah, man. Thanks again, Errol, and thanks to the Irie Jam family lecturer, Louis in the background, DJ Roddy, and everybody else. I want to just
Nigel, yeah.
Nigel, thank you so much. And you know, it was a pleasure working with the team. Really awesome people. I truly enjoyed it. And I hope that I know that this collaboration will continue. Maybe looking differently, but for sure, I'm looking forward to hearing how it is that this collaboration will look in the future. It was a pleasure hosting with you as well, Errol, as well as Kemal. And a big shout out to the athletes who we brought on, right? They are truly exceptional people. Hearing their stories, laughing, chatting, smiling, it was a vibe. All the performances this
we're remiss of
championship
us not
was
to
really
mention
crazy.
Okeely Stewart. Okeely Stewart came on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I met Okeel when I was in Miami, and he's a really awesome person. Funny enough, I also met an Adidas agent. I forgot his name. Sigobin.
QB.
Yes, I also met QB, who is a very awesome individual as well. So I've met a lot of persons through track and field. Funny enough, I wasn't able to travel as an athlete. I could not travel because I wasn't running as fast. And the one time I was ready to start running fast, injuries started to present themselves. And so I did not get a chance to go to a Penn Relays. I did not get a chance to go to a Miramar or any one of those places. But I went to Penn Relays as a journalist. I went to Miramar as a journalist. I've been to many track meets as a journalist. I'm looking forward to go to Atlas as a journalist. Hopefully I can go to the World Championships next year as a journalist, and year after next rather, and to the Olympics as well. So really and truly, I'm hitting some goals. I'm achieving some milestones, and all thanks again, Errol and team for the collaboration.
My brother, the pleasure has been ours. We appreciate you. And on that journey, wherever you go, we will be there with you, and we will be collaborating with you when it allows and when you ask us to join you. So again, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. Have a wonderful, to all our viewers, to all our listeners on the Irie Jam platform, on the Omilia platform. We appreciate you. We thank you for joining us. We see the views, we see the numbers going up, and we just hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. So thank you. Good night, good evening, good morning, and enjoy the last day tomorrow. Celebrate, because it's been a fantastic championship for Jamaica and the Caribbean. and we look forward to doing it again and again and again. Thank you. Good night.
Blessings.
Online at IrieJamRadio.com.
It's Irie Jam Radio Sports.
Sports Caribbean. Sports.
This is Irie Jam Sports, and I am Errol Walters.
Next on the decks.
Irie Jam Radio Sports.
So excited. You made my day.
Sports Extra.
The World Athletics Championships in Tokyo.
And now sports commentaries.
I'm Errol Waters. Tune in with Omilia Sports, Daniel Jarrett, and Kamal Forbes on Irie Jam Sports.
97 point.
Number 1. HD3.
Live coverage of the World Athletics Championship.
IrieJamRadio.com.
Turn up.
Tell someone about
97.
The HD3. Irie Jam Radio.
We will be bringing you all the news, all the excitement, all the attractions.
Sports Extra with
Errol Walters.
Irie Jam Radio.
Sports. Tune in.
Irie Jam Radio Sports.
Coverage.
Celebrates at the line. That's a new lifetime best.